Welcome
Yo,
to Big Blue Breakdown. I am Lucas Bundy, and I am here with the one, the only Trent McGahee. Trent, how you doing?
um, I'm pretty all right. We got pretty humbled badly last week,
Hey, we're
but
moving on. We're moving on. We ain't talking about that game today. We're moving on.
exactly.
It's a
I
new
just talked.
week. We ain't with that no more.
Yeah, we just talked to our dog Hottie. It's a new week. No excuses. It's a new mother effing week, bro. So get into it.
All right. First things first. Andrew Thomas. He popped up on the injury report this week after an injury he went under last week against the Cowboys. On the first drive of the game. He's been practicing recently, but he's been limited. Um, this offense cannot really function without him. And we saw how bad the O-line was last week. And just without Andrew Thomas, it's going to be 10 times worse. And you just can't run your offense without him. Yeah. What do you think are some of the things that we can do on offense if Andrew Thomas is not good to go on Sunday?
I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. They just gotta use this, bro. Like balls to the wall, man up, bro. Like next man up. It's opportunity. Like
Yeah.
the
Show
next
out.
that's what you got to do, bro. You can't really do nothing when your star player's out, especially in this case. You can't it's like say if Saquon's out, maybe try to hide some different ways in the offense, try to input stuff, bro. This is the offensive line. This is the trenches. You like if one get replaced, you got to show out, bro. Like there's no excuse. Like there's no way the Cardinals should get pressure like how it was this last game. Not even close.
I mean, last week they had 6 sacks against the Commanders. But 2 of those were kind of like little stupid sacks where it's like the quarterback is running on the sideline and they get tackled when they're trying to run. So that was 2 of those, and I don't know. I'm just not really concerned about any of their like pass rushers or
that's what I'm saying.
Interior guys. I'm just not really concerned. So they're not the Cowboys. They're not the Cowboys at all. They're not going to be able to have Michael Parsons line up in the A and B gap and just dominate Mark Lewinsky, right? That's not going to happen this week. Hopefully, it's just a lot worse of a team than they played last week. It should just be a different game. There's no excuses, like you said. There's no excuse to lose this game at all.
That's what I'm saying. Even though they had like 6 sacks, it's not worrying me. Like I don't see anybody on the interior or pass rush or edge rushing like, okay, we gotta watch out for this guy. Like just being real, like again, like we've been saying, there's no reason we should lose this game. It's not a
Absolutely
single
not.
We should dominate on everything, every offense, defense, special teams. We should wreak havoc. We shouldn't. It's no excuses, bro.
Yeah, to talk about special teams, it's got to be better this week. Graham Gano cannot miss a 30-yard field goal like he did last week. We can't have Josh Azudu fuck up a block and lead to a blocked field goal. We can't have that this week. And
because
there's just simple mistakes we can't have, right?
Yeah, it's just simple fundamental mistakes that you learn in high school that you can't have it, bro. You can't get whooped at all game and allow 11 pressures almost as a one play. That can't happen. So again,
that can't happen.
Like this is one of the worst teams in the league.
Yeah.
It's not the next week after we face the 49ers. This is the Arizona Cardinals. So if we think who we are and we think that this team can win 8 games, 9 games, or even I think they're ceiling maybe even now, even though we got our butts up, it still could be 10. This should be a domination game. Like everything, bro, should be a huge domination.
So just to go back to Andrew Thomas and his injury, they've been saying that he's a game time decision or whatever. But honestly, if he was gonna play this game, if there's a way that he could heal up in the next 4 days after the game until he had that game on Thursday, then I'm saying don't play the game, right? There's no reason to. Mm-hmm. But if playing the game won't affect the way that your leg heals, then there's no reason not to show up and just play because we're gonna need him out there, regardless of who we play. So that's just my take on it.
To me, if he's good, he's good. I think he should play no matter what because we can't be having guys sitting out and it's already week 2. Like we're not even close to the playoffs yet. That can't happen. So if he's good,
from 1 week.
I say it's only been 1 week. So if he's good, he gotta go. He gotta play. That's just what it is. Because he's like how you said, this offense don't function without Andrew Thomas at all.
Not at all.
So he needs to play.
So we did kind of the thing where I think that the Giants could play without Andrew Thomas last year against the Bears. If you remember that game, it was a lot of bootlegs and making linebackers confused with motions and stuff. I think that's some of the same things they're going to do anyways. But I feel like it can be more prevalent in this game if Andrew Thomas doesn't go, because I feel like the runs that we had last week that were most efficient were the runs that went straight at Andrew Thomas and like Ben Bredesen and John Michael Schmitz. All the runs that were outside, I feel like they were more successful. So this time, I feel like we just got to get defenders in conflict, make linebackers confused, and just run the damn ball. Right? You can't rely on Daniel Jones this game because he's no matter who they're going against, he's going to get pressured this game if you don't have Andrew Thomas. So just run the damn ball. I don't care if you run it 40 times. Run the damn ball.
Yeah, and I also, even though I think you said run the damn ball, I think it's time we need it because Dan Waller, he said he's good to go. He needs to get more involved.
He's playing.
Even he needs to get involved way more than he did last week. Now I get it. Last week he can't really get that involved when you're getting pressured 30 times, when you're getting sacked 6 times. But like how we just talked about earlier, the defensive linemen don't scare me. So I'm ready to see Darren Waller get a 120-yard game, maybe get like 8 catches. No matter how you get, like, we're gonna run the ball, but we always do play action, and he's
the play action. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he's always probably gonna be the first read. So he needs to get the damn, just like how we need to run the damn ball. He needs to get that damn ball too on the pass plays, bro.
Yeah, just get your guys in space and just let them work. So let's talk about the Cardinals defense, right? Some of the things that they like to do. They signed Jonathan Gann this offseason. He's a new head coach. What they like to do is it's a lot of quarters and cover 3 coverage. They don't really switch out of that too often. But they also kind of play aggressive in the way that they try to make plays and make your quarterback make mistakes, but they'll also let up big plays that way, just like the Cowboys kind of do last week. They'll press you up. They'll play aggressive. They're going to go for that interception. They're going to go for that sack, but they're going to let up big plays at the same time. So I feel like guys like Hodgins and Waller and Jalen Hyatt can really eat this game, going the intermediate part of the field because that's like kind of the space that they give you in those coverages. So I feel like guys can Hodgins and Waller can just have a great game, eating up the middle of the field.
Yeah, especially if they're running quarters a lot, because you run quarters, the short game will be open. So
middle field's wide open.
That's going to be open. So a lot of quick game we can possibly see, a lot of it. And like how you said, Darren Waller should for sure eat, especially because they don't have anybody to guard, and also with the no D line. So you have more time in the pocket. Your guys can create and separate. You'll get the ball. Like you said, Isaiah Hodgins, all these guys should eat. If we're being realistic, like all these guys, no matter what defense they're running, because this Cardinals defense is not good. No. So this Giants offense should show that they can be really good in this league, and I think they can do it. So we just have to see. The O-line has to hold up. Again, my biggest issue now this whole year is going to be offensive line. Because after that performance, that's one of the worst performances from an offensive line standpoint I've seen in a long time.
Forever.
In a long time.
Ever since that game against it was the Buccaneers and Chiefs in the Super Bowl. That's the worst one I've seen since then.
Or maybe the Joe Burrow game versus the Titans.
Yep.
Like that's probably the worst. Like that's literally like on play. Like
and that is so sad to say, man, because we made so many strong strides this offseason to improve this O-line. It just sucks because Evan Neal he looks like a guard. He doesn't really look like he's going to be too good at tackle. But the thing is we can't even do anything with him right now, and we can't move him to guard right now, because you don't really like to move your tackles and your guards different positions during the season, right? That's stuff you can do in the off season, not right now. So I just think obviously Mark Galinsky should not play anymore. He should not get another snap unless somebody goes down. It should be Thomas if he's good to go, Azudu right next to him, Schmitz in the middle, and then Bredesen, and then Evan Neal. That's what it should be. That's what it should have been in week 1. That's what it should be every single week. Until somebody gets hurt. Hopefully, and Thomas is good to go, but if he's not, then I guess Matt Pert will sub in at left tackle. Even though I think he might be hurt too. He's also questionable to play. So we'll see. This offensive line's got to be better, man. They got to play better.
That's just really what it is. That's the biggest concern. If the offensive line can do their job, I don't have any worries about this game. I have zero worries if this O-line keeps up, bro. That's all I'm worried about. It's the O-line. Excuse me.
But there's no reason to lose this game. I don't even care. I don't even care if they get a lot of pressure. You should not lose this game.
And then speaking on, we talked about the passing game, talking about the O-line. What type of game do you think Saquon Barkley will have?
Well, like I said, run the damn ball, right? He should be getting a lot of targets. He should be getting a lot of carries. It should be a Saquon game. This should be a game that Saquon, you just let him eat. Put him in space. Give him some good blocking up front, hopefully. Swear. But I feel like this can be a really good game for Saquon. One of his best games ever. I mean, it should be. They have a bad defense. We have some solid run blocking. And we have guys that you can't just stack the box against. You can't stack a box when you have guys like Waller, Hyatt, guys like that. So Saquon should have a really good game, honestly. He has no reason not to.
Listen, I definitely agree. It's just all on the offensive line. It's gonna be the emphasis on the whole show, bro. Offensive line, O-line, O-line, O-line.
When you come to the show and we have a bad week, or if you have a good week, we're gonna be talking about the offensive line. I guarantee you that, because it's always going to be the worry. It's always going to be in the back of our mind that if this team wants to make the playoffs again, they want to be successful, the O-line, Evan Neal has got to be good. It's all on Evan Neal. It's all on him.
Yeah, I think this offense should have a great game. Now, let's talk about this defensive side, bro. Because me personally, I think they should this shouldn't even be this should wreak havoc. Dexter Lawrence, Kayvon Thibodeau, Aziz. I think both of them had zero pressure. Well, Aziz not playing.
He's not playing. He's doubtful.
But Kayvon didn't have a single pressure last game. Dexter was pretty solid. Leonard was pretty solid. How do you think the defense is going to do this game?
I mean, it's Isaiah's revenge game, man. It's his revenge game.
That's true.
Isaiah Simmons didn't get a lot of run last week, but I feel like as they're playing the Cardinals, it would be the right thing, or it would be funny to just let him start. Let him play some more downs, dude. You got nothing to lose. He's a really athletic player, and he made some plays even in the 15 snaps he played last week. But as you said, the D-line, they didn't get really any pressures last week. Leonard Williams was pretty terrible. He did not do anything against a third string or second string guard. That was horrific to watch during film. Aziz not playing really worries me because I love Hottie, man, but as a pass rusher, he's not changing my mind about any of this. He's not moving me, is what I would say. He's a really good run stuffing edge or defensive tackle. He's versatile, but it's tough when you have these injuries like Aziz. He just can't stay on the field, man, and that's a big worry for me because he just doesn't stay on the field.
Yeah, bro. We've been waiting for the Aziz Ojulari breakout, and just damn,
never happens because he's always on the sideline.
Yeah, bro. But yeah, it's just. And if we talk about the secondary, Deontay Banks played well. Adoree Jackson ain't have a good game at all.
Nope.
Trey.
I mean, but CeeDee Lamb's got his number.
Yeah. CeeDee Lamb's got his number. Yeah, I said it last week. CeeDee Lamb is CeeDee Lamb. He's gonna get his. Trey,
especially against Adoree. Yeah.
I think Trey Hawkins played a solid game, but of course, them 2 flags, even though one was BS. Still, I think the secondary can have another big game. I think we're gonna get a lot of sacks this game because, again, I'm not worried about Hollywood Brown. He's not good versus press man coverage, and they press it good and we press it good enough.
Yeah, but also if you play him in off coverage, he's gonna be open on those slant routes, and you gotta be able to go up and make a play on that. DBs have got to be athletic and fast this game to be able to make plays on that ball, which I think they can. We got three really athletic corners that we're starting, so there's no reason that they can't make a play on the ball.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think this defense should have a master class. I think the offense should have a master class. I think this should just be a master class performance from Big Blue.
We should whoop that ass this week. Put
Like,
it to you like that. There's no reason.
Like, I expect like a 28-7, like 28-3. Like, I expect an ass whooping, bro. I'm not expecting nothing else. Or if it's like 35-21, or like even like a 28-14, it needs to feel like you're beating their ass.
It needs to feel like we're dominating. It needs to feel like it, for sure.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
So what the Cardinals kind of like to do on offense is they will run the ball on you. James Conner is a really solid back, and they don't. And Joshua Dobbs is probably going to start from this week, and he doesn't really. I mean, he is what he is, right? He's like a third string quarterback. The Cardinals are clearly tanking, and this is their starting quarterback. So, I don't really know too much about Joshua Dobbs. I didn't watch his film, because he doesn't play a lot of games. But what the Cardinals like to do on offense is it's a lot of what I would say like smoke and mirrors, like putting people in motion, trying to disguise different things, just making these linebackers really confused. But I think we had the personnel to be able to like be smart. Michael McFadden, Okereke, both pretty smart players. So I'm not really too concerned about that. So I mean, there's not a lot to talk about. I mean, they're just a bad team, man. Like, it is what it is. Like, there's no reason that this defense can't just eat on this offense. They're just not good. They don't have the personnel to beat you. They don't have the personnel to beat man coverage. I mean, they just don't. And I'm pretty sure they're missing some of their O linemen too.
Yeah, you spot on with it. Because again, even though they like to do all this stuff, they, like you said, the motion and stuff, they don't have the personnel that it's going to scare me. Like,
no one on the offense is scaring me.
Like, this should be a dominant performance, nothing less.
Like, now, if Kyler Murray was playing this game, this would be a different conversation. This would be a different conversation we're having, because then I'd be a little bit scared. But
yeah,
Joshua Dobbs, I mean, sorry, but no eyebrow man, you're just not good.
They would have had Kyler Murray last week. They would have won the game. So then now Kyler Murray,
I agree with that.
Kyler Murray is in a borderline or elite quarterback. It doesn't matter. He's still a really good quarterback, top 10 quarterback when healthy. So that would have scared me. But now you got Joshua Dobbs, who isn't a good decision maker at all, and his pocket presence is ass. Yeah, man. I'm not – it's not scaring me, bro. It's not scaring me at all.
But what they do on the run game is actually like it's pretty good. They do a lot of gap, a lot of zone. It's pretty diverse, just like the Giants. And their guards and tackles do a really good job of combo blocks. I feel like if we're not careful, they could run the ball. They could run the ball like 20-25 times, and they could definitely score points on us with this run game.
I think yeah, you're right about that with the Cardinals in the run game, but I think because the O-line is not the Cowboys, or just I don't think it's a good O-line. I think we're gonna be able to.
They do a solid job in the run game.
Yeah, like they do.
They work combo blocks pretty well.
Yeah, but I think the Giants will be able to neutralize it. I think we're gonna see a way better performance from Leonard Williams, and then Dexter Lawrence is gonna be Dexter Lawrence.
Yeah. I mean, Leonard Williams is on a contract year once again. Like, he should be playing for his own right to get another contract. He's 30 years old. He just signed a huge contract 3 years ago. He's been pretty solid ever since. But if he doesn't show out, he's not going to get another contract, or he's not going to get the money he wants. So this has got to be something that he's thinking of. If you don't play well, you're not going to get what you want in free agency, and we're not going to sign you back, and you're not going to get much more money anywhere else besides the Giants. So,
I think he knows that though. So that's what I'm saying.
That's why I'm saying, like, he knows that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a bad game. Hey, it's only week 1. We doing all this talking. We gotta always remember it's week 1. It's what we're gonna build. So even though, like you had a bad game versus the Cowboys, now it's time to dominate against the Cardinals. Perfect game. Get your get back.
Yeah, the secondary had a really good game. How can they capitalize on that, right? How can they come in at MetLife, go into Arizona and just absolutely dominate against Joshua Dobbs? How can they do that, Trent?
I think put pressure on him because Wink. We all know Wink. He always likes to blitz. And I think
especially against bad quarterbacks.
yes, and if you get Josh Dobbs in a bad situation where he got to throw the ball early or he getting a lot of pressure, it doesn't look good. For example, when they faced the Jags, when Joshua Dobbs was on the Titans and they faced the Jags and he was getting blitzed a lot, he sold in the game. Bad. He played terrible. So fast forward now, we got great D line. We got Isaiah Simmons from the Cardinals, who if he plays a lot, he's mainly going to be the blitzer and he's going to get to the quarterback.
Thinking about it, now that Azeez Ojulari is probably not going to play, I could see Isaiah Simmons getting like 30, 40 snaps this week, doubling what he got last week.
Yeah, I could definitely see it too, bro.
Because, like I said, much love Jahad Ward, he's not moving me in the pass game, and Isaiah Simmons does. He's got a like he's 6'4", about 240.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's Will Anderson right there. That's his build. That's the exact build, and I just think he can get a lot of run this week, and that's gonna be really bad for the Cardinals.
That's what I'm saying. So the way Divas can capitalize, bro, is from Wink when they blitz a lot, and we're gonna be a lot of man because that's gonna be our identity. We're gonna play a lot of man, and I think with the receivers, they don't create a lot of separation. The only thing I worry about is just don't mess up because Hollywood Brown can. Of course, we all know he can take top off a defense.
Yep.
Well, at least stay locked in on him, but he's not good in press coverage anyways. That's probably my only concern about the offense. But yeah, I think we're going. I think a pick is running. A pick has to happen in this game, basically. Or if it's not a pick, we just completely boxing them. Like somebody's going to get an interception of this game. I can see
this Giants team. Really bad performance last week. They've got to bounce back, and they've got to bounce back in a big way. So let me ask you a question then. So who is your Giants X factor this week?
On offense or defense?
On both sides.
On both sides? Okay. So if Andrew Thomas is playing on the offensive side, I think my X factor is Evan Neal. Because like the way he's just been playing, it looks like it doesn't matter who the edge rusher is. They can just get off on any moment. Right. And if Evan Neal stays solid, it's really both of them, him and the guard. If they actually have a good blocking game, we're gonna dominate even more. The run game, the passing game, we're gonna dominate. Those two have to be the two X factors because they mainly caused the pressures last week. And again, they're just getting dominated, and that's not how you play football, bro. Like that's not what it's supposed to be. But on the defensive side, man, I'm gonna go with Kayvon. I think Kayvon is gonna have a huge game this week.
Back-to-back weeks with Kayvon. Okay.
Yeah, I think Kayvon. I think this should actually be like, because I wasn't expecting him to not have zero pressures, bro. This is the game where he gets a lot of pressures. He might get.
Let me talk about that real quick. No pressures thing, because I'm gonna give him a little bit of slack for that because they only had about 6 true pass sets the entire game.
Yeah, for sure.
That was probably the best game I've seen Kayvon work in the run game and setting the edge. So
yeah,
I mean he was really impressive on film. I would say stats don't look good if you just look at it from the casual eye, but he looked really good on film in the run game. So I'm gonna catch him some slack for that.
Okay, I was saying I totally forgot about that. So yeah, I for sure agree. But even then, though, like again, the X factor is really the whole defensive line because they should really dominate. I don't we talked about the Cardinals run game. It's not moving me. With the pass block is for damn sure not moving me. So, but Kayvon, I think Kayvon's going to have a really big game this week. I think he's going to have a really big game. So, what about you?
So, I was definitely going to say Evan Neal, but I'm not going to say the same one you said. So, I'm going to go with let's go Isaiah Hodgins.
Okay.
He had a big fumble last week. Not a big fumble because we're already down 40 or whatever. But he had a fumble last week, and that's definitely got to get to his head. And I feel like he's going to bounce back this week and be able to dominate the middle of the field like he usually does. Yeah, I just think Isaiah Hodgins can eat this week with those lousy corners they have.
I agree. Must see. The X factors for this game should be the whole damn team. Like,
yeah,
everybody should eat, everybody should dominate, and that's just what it is.
On the defensive side, I'm going to go with Dexter Lawrence. He had a good game on film last week, but this week he should dominate. He should look like the best player on both sides of the field, both sides of the ball. Like, we saw Dexter Lawrence dominate at a level we've never seen from a nose tackle, and he's got to duplicate that if he wants to be considered one of the best at his position, right?
Yep.
That's what he's got to do. He's got to dominate this game, and he should. No reason not to. Like I've been saying all stream, no reason not to.
Yep, for sure, bro. Like, there's really not that much to talk about, bro. This should really be a straight domination. Like,
yeah.
So, like, damn, like,
what do you got to say as a special team coordinator's son? What do you got to say about special teams this week?
Be on your P's and Q's. Be on your shit. I don't really remember who the Cardinals special I haven't for like the past few years because Hollywood's not returning kicks. They don't have nobody really crazy back there returning kicks.
I think it might be Greg Dortch. I could be mistaken.
Yeah, and if it's that, I'm not really worried, but you just gotta be I'm not gonna lie, any NFL returner can return a kick. You just have to be on your shit. Jamie, you did well punting last week. You had a lot of punts. You did really well this week. The takeaway is really field goal. Like, Graham, I love you. You my boy.
Can't miss.
My dog. You can't miss them 30 yard field goals, which you never do. So that's really an anomaly. So I'm gonna give you.
So I'm not really concerned about it if it's like that's not him.
That block field goal, that's fundamentals. That should never happen.
That's not on Graham.
Yeah, that's not on Graham. That block field goal, like, that was some bullshit. So that has to get better because that was some bullshit. That shouldn't have happened at all. But that's really the main takeaways because we kickoff return really ain't do. I don't even think we kicked, like, they had a kickoff return because they booted out the end zone. Jamie did well in punting, and punt coverage was actually pretty solid. It's just field goal. Field goal. That's really about it. Field goal needs to step up.
It's just the fundamentals, like you said.
Like,
you can't let your guy beat you in a 2-second play. Like, it's just unacceptable. So let's bring on Donnie.
Yeah, man, we about to bring him up, man. So let's get it.
All right, so now we welcome on Donnie, aka Pig and Spreads. How you doing, my man?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Pretty good. If you just want to introduce yourself and let people know what you do and where they can find you.
Yeah, so I'm Donnie, also known as Pick and Spreads. You can find me on TikTok. I just hit 23K not that long ago. I'm a big NFL fan. I'm a big college football fan. I'm a big NFL draft fan. I cover the NFL draft. At least, I try to post a couple videos about it a week. Always have a good time with that. You can also find me on Twitter where I'm constantly posting just random thoughts that I have about football or even basketball. And you can also find me on Instagram. That's where I usually talk to the most people is through Instagram DM. So you can always just hit me up on the IG.
All right, that's what's up. So let's get straight into it. So Cardinals versus Giants is this Sunday. What are your expectations as far as like Joshua Dobbs and the offense goes?
Be better than week one. Like, it was just, we all knew it was going to be a little bit of a mess week one. Josh Dobbs, although he was familiar with the scheme coming in, being around Stefanski, around Petzing, with the Browns a couple years ago, like, he's familiar with that, but, obviously things change here and there, obviously, and whatnot. So it looked very uncomfortable, looked a little bit disorganized as well. The run game I thought was fine, but it wasn't great. But obviously, at the end of the day, what matters is that this team just has very little, if any, talent whatsoever. Like, this is arguably the worst roster in the league. So improvement would be great. I'm not expecting, obviously, Dobbs to go out there and throw for 300, 3 tutties. Like, obviously, I'm not expecting something like that to happen. And I would say he's probably playing – I would say about the same level of defense. Washington has a very good front seven along with the Giants. Those are some of the best front sevens in the league. So it's going to be another big-time opponent when it comes to the defense he's playing. Hopefully the O-line can do a good job. I thought Paris Johnson did a decent job week one in his zone and pass protection. He had some struggles in the run game. His hand placement was a little bit wonky. Sometimes he lost his footing when he was trying to get out in space. But I thought overall he was pretty solid considering, it's his first game ever at right tackle because at Ohio State he played left tackle and right guard. So I thought he did an okay job. But what am I expecting from Josh Dobbs? I don't know. Maybe we can get an offensive touchdown. That'd be pretty cool, but we'll see what happens. But if I were to guess, I think we're probably going to be something similar to last time. A lot of screen passes to Hollywood, a lot of screen passes to Rondale, maybe a couple shots down the sideline, but nothing too complex. He's still kind of meshing into this offense. So I'm not expecting too much of a leap, but I think it's going to be slightly better than what we saw week 1.
Hey, but I mean, we're still waiting on our first touchdown as well. So
yeah,
yes. So.
Speaking on you guys' offense, because Wink Martindale, he always loves to blitz, and he blitz, man, blitz. So, what are your thoughts on how you think the offense will react to the blitz? Because we know they're going to blitz all game.
Right. So I mean, it's going to be interesting. Like Washington, whenever I watched them, they didn't blitz nearly as much as I thought they would. I thought, this is a new guy in a new system, but relatively new, like I said. But this is a guy that they can just send pressure towards and have him decide quickly. And clearly, they didn't do that as much as I thought they would. And the Giants are one of the most blitz-heavy, if not the most blitz-heavy team in all of football. And I think they're going to have to make Dobbs work because at the end of the day, I don't think the run game is going to be that effective considering that you can make a very good argument the Giants have maybe the best defensive tackle duo, if not top 3 in the entire NFL with Leonard Williams and Dexter Lawrence. Dexter Lawrence being obviously a superstar and Leonard Williams being a very good player, I would say, for a very long time. And he's still performing at a high level to this day. So it's going to make the interior offensive line work, and that's been the one weakness with this Arizona O-line. I said going into the year that I thought their tackles were good for now. DJ Humphries has always been a solid left tackle for Arizona, although Steve Keim has definitely overpaid the absolute hell out of him. And then Paris Johnson, is rookie. I thought he was the best pure tackle in the class. I thought he did a decent job. But the interior was the main problem, and running the ball is just not going to be effective. So Dobbs just really needs to make sure to avoid that interior pressure because no nose tackle, I think you can probably say no nose tackle in NFL history is as good of a pass rusher as Dexter Lawrence. Like, we've never seen a nose tackle produce this much pressure, maybe in history. Like, what he did last year was unbelievable, and he's going to continue to do that for years to come. So, and Arizona's interior offensive line just isn't very good. So, Dobbs just needs to react quickly. I'd imagine they're probably going to have a lot of screen passes and whatnot, maybe a couple, just easy stuff to do. But at the end of the day, that's not effective unless you have a high-caliber defense, and Arizona clearly doesn't. So it's going to be a lot of struggles for Arizona. But if Dobbs can somehow manage to avoid the interior pressure, maybe use some of that limited mobility that he does have to try to extend plays, maybe it can work out. But I think the interior line is going to get demolished this week.
Yeah, so one of the biggest matchups I'm looking for this week, particularly, is Kayvon Thibodeau against Paris Johnson. I think it's a pretty good matchup. So, what are your expectations for Paris Johnson going up against probably an easier edge to guard rather than Montez Sweat? So, what are your thoughts against Kayvon against Paris Johnson?
So I think Kayvon and Paris, I think this is going to be a really fun matchup to watch whenever we get the all-22 because these are two guys that are just so light on their feet, so athletic, and move so well. Just so well. It's amazing to watch. Like, that was the one thing about Paris coming out of the draft was like, yeah, there was a lot of hand placement issues, and sometimes he would kind of lose his footing every now and then. But at the end of the day, he's so light on his feet. And for being as big as he is, he can move so well. And we all know what Kayvon is at this point. Like, outside of maybe Chase Young over the last 5 years, I don't think I've seen an edge rusher with that quite of bend and speed around the edge like Kayvon has over the last few years of the draft. And that's what he's been very good at. And he had a very good rookie year using that. Because, Kayvon's not really the biggest guy. Like, you look at him, he's a little bit skinnier, but, like, he makes it work because he's such a freak athlete. There's a reason he was the number 2 recruit coming out of high school. It's because he was just unguardable around the edge. So this is going to be a fun matchup because these are two just freak athletes that were highly regarded, high draft picks. They're still young. Kayvon's in his second year. Paris Johnson will be in his second game. I'm expecting a really fun matchup to watch. I think they're going to go back and forth. It's going to be a lot easier for him to go up against Kayvon than it was Montez Sweat, and that's not to disrespect Kayvon. He's still a very good player. It's just I think he matches up with what he has. I think it's going to match up a lot better against Kayvon. And I thought Paris did an okay job on Montez, and considering Montez, some of his strengths countered some of Paris's weaknesses. But I do think that this is going to be a really fun matchup to watch. It's definitely one of the most that I'm anticipating for sure.
Well, yeah, for sure. Well, flipping sides of the ball, we just came off probably the worst offensive line performance since the Joe Burrow game versus the Titans in the playoffs. Yeah. Even though you guys don't have a big name at pass rusher, no crazy interior, do you think that the Cardinals can try to capitalize off that bad performance that we just had off week 1?
So this is what I'll say. So outside of the Dallas Cowboys against the Giants, no team had more sacks week 1 than the Arizona Cardinals, which shocked me a lot. But it also kind of made me think, Gannon was a guy who was very good at generating pressure without causing a lot of blitzes. So maybe I have to give him credit. But then you look at the pass rush win rate and you realize, they were 25th.
Right.
Not as good as what the sack numbers say. And you watch the tape, a lot of it was just miscommunication, a couple of moments where Howe was being a little stupid because, he's still young. He makes plenty of mistakes, so whatnot. I think this is going to be a good opportunity for the Giants' offensive line to just calm down. You had a bad week 1. Let's get back into rhythm. Let's just flush that game away. Get it out of our system. It didn't happen. It never existed. We're playing an easy opponent. We're playing maybe the worst defensive line in football. Like you said it, can you guys name me a single starter on that defensive line outside of Zaven Collins? Can you?
BJ, he's not starting, is he? But
no, he's not starting. He's
that's the only
the starting.
I'm not gonna lie, I can't.
I can't. So you can't, bro.
No, it's bad. It's bad. Dennis Gardeck is him. I guess he's just average dude.
Yeah, I've heard about him.
Yeah, people. Yeah, and then there's obviously Cam Thomas, who's he was the third rounder last year, who did decent as a rookie. He had a decent week 1, but once again, none of these guys are true stars. Arizona doesn't have a single star in that D line. You could even argue, I think you can argue that they don't even have an above average defensive lineman starting on that team. That's how rough it is. So I think this is a week where the Giants can just calm down. They can just take a deep breath and they can say, okay, we got shredded by maybe the best defensive line in football week 1 in the Dallas Cowboys. Let's calm down. Let's take a chill pill. Let's get our head straight. Let's play this week Arizona defensive line, and let's get things going. Now, if you struggle again, that's when you hit the panic button. That's what I think you do.
Facts.
And I didn't the offensive line for the Giants was bad against Dallas, but I wasn't really expecting them to do a good job. Dallas has maybe the best defensive line in the league outside of maybe Philly, and even then, you could argue it's still Dallas. That's how good the defensive line is. So I think this is a good chance to bounce back against definitely maybe the worst defensive line in the league.
The thing about it is it's not like it was Micah Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence beating us. It was backups and third stringers beating Evan Neal and Mark Golinsky consistently. That was the thing that was my biggest worry, is that not only was it the starters beating you, it was the backups too. And not only were they beating you, they were dominating you.
Right.
That's just a really big concern for me.
Right. Well, I think this is a good chance to bounce back against a team.
I agree.
Dallas's backups are probably better than Arizona's starters, so you can not worry as much.
Yeah, man. That's
what.
So, I heard there was some injury reports probably just today about Budda Baker. What's going on with Budda Baker?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a hip or a quad. It's one or the other. It just kind of popped up during practice. It sounds like he's probably going to be fine. Budda, I don't know if you guys know this. Budda had a high ankle sprain last year, and this is when Arizona was about 3-7, 3-8. There was no reason for him to rush back. Everyone knew the Arizona Cardinals are one of the worst teams in the league. He gets a high ankle sprain. Cliff says on that following Monday, he's going to be gone for the next 2 weeks. And then you know what he decides to do? He comes back the next week and gets a pick against the Rams. So, like, this is a dude who has unbelievable toughness. I do think he can get a little bit overrated by people when people try to say, oh, he's a top 3 safety. And I'm like, I don't know about that one. But he's still a very good player, and we all know the caliber of player that he brings, especially when he's in the box. But, no, I expect him to be out there against the Giants making plays because that's just the type of player Buddha is. He may not be the freak athlete of a Minka. He may not have that type of versatility like a Derwin. He might not be the ball hawking, of a Justin Simmons. But this dude – no one is tougher at the safety position, I think, than Buddha. This dude plays through so much, and his job is, I would argue, much more physical than the average safety, considering he's probably the best pure box safety in the league. So I don't think anyone's tougher than Buddha. I think he'll be out there in week 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've got a lot of opinions from Giants fans and just fans of other teams. But how did you feel about the Isaiah Simmons trade as a Cardinals fan?
Okay, this is what I'll say. The Giants bought themselves a lottery ticket. Now, what is a lottery ticket? A lottery ticket is you buy this piece of paper, and it's a very small chance of working out. But you didn't pay much for it, not much at all. But if it does work out, you hit the home run. That is what Isaiah Simmons is, because over the last 3 years, he has shown me very little. And yes, you can say, Vance Joseph didn't put him in the best position to succeed.
Right.
But when you watch him play, he didn't give full effort. He never really tried as hard as he could. There were multiple times where he could have had a strip sack, or he just completely missed a tackle, or it looks like he just doesn't even want to play at all. And that's just, I don't know if that's an ego thing. I don't know if it's just he just wanted to get the hell out of Arizona, which I completely respect. Arizona's a dumpster fire right now. So I don't know if it was one of those or both of those. But I think how I would describe it is you gave up a 7th-round pick for a lottery ticket. It's not that big a deal. I don't think it's going to work, but if it does, good Lord, you guys got yourself a superstar.
Yeah.
So are you concerned about an Isaiah Simmons revenge game?
Listen, if he decides to have 2 picks, good for him, man. I'm not one of those salty Cardinal fans. I was like, oh, screw Isaiah. He's bad. Blah, blah, blah. Like, listen, man, I don't want to prey on anyone's downfall in the NFL. That's just not very fair. Like, all these guys work so hard to get to the position that they're in. Even college students, man. Like, I know Trent, you used to play college ball yourself. And, like, I understand being around, like, athletes. I understand the amount of work they put in to get to that level, and let alone get to the NFL level. So I don't want to prey on anyone's downfall. And I hope the dude succeeds. He's in the best position he can be. He's away from Vance Joseph because Vance Joseph is terrible. I'm hoping he works out. I really do.
Well, the last question I just want to ask you is how do you feel about Kyler Murray and his situation that's going on?
I forgot about Kyler Murray.
I'm the biggest Kyler Murray fan on the planet. If you follow me on TikTok, I would defend that man to death. This dude has done nothing but take this garbage organization with a bottom-tier head coach, one of the worst – let me rephrase that. The worst general manager in the NFL, Steve Keim. The second worst owner in the league, Michael Bidwell. This garbage, terrible organization, Arizona, and made them a playoff team almost single-handedly in 2021. Like, not many years ago, Arizona was a playoff team, and you can't find any other reason but him why it was. Simple as that. He was playing like MVP. He was playing like the MVP front runner. He was playing out of his mind. He didn't have the Phillies offensive line. He didn't have, the Dallas Cowboys run game in 2016. He didn't have these all-star receivers outside of D-Hop. Like, he had old A.J. Green and Christian Kirk, who was fine but wasn't a star. Like, it was just him and D-Hop making magic. And that's basically what it was for the first 7 weeks. And it's not like Cliff is a genius. I mean, he's not very good. He gets very predictable towards the end of the year. And something else I want to point out, I'm not the biggest fan of Chris Sims, but I do respect his work. Chris Sims put out a 32 list a couple years ago of the most predictable play callers in the NFL for 2021. Kyler Murray was the MVP frontrunner, despite Cliff being the second most predictable play caller, only behind Matt Canada, which is unbelievable. unbelievable in his own way. He's had injury concerns. There might be leadership concerns. The contract thing is definitely worrying some. And if the Cardinals do get the first overall pick, I would expect them to take Caleb Williams because you cannot pass on that kind of talent. I understand that. But, man, I've seen Kyler play like not only like a Pro Bowler, I've seen Kyler play like an All-Pro before. If he can do it, he can do it again. We all know the talent he has. Like, I understand he's injured right now. He's been injured a lot. Not many guys can run and throw with that kind of combination like he can.
So just talking about the draft. So it looks like you guys are probably gonna have 2 top 5 picks. So what would you think of a scenario where you guys have the first and third pick in the draft, right? Who would your be like? Who would first pick and like the third or fourth pick?
Okay.
What would be the dream scenario for the Cardinals? You think?
Caleb Williams and Marvin Harrison. I mean, you get both of those guys who are just. I mean, like, listen, I consider myself a decent draft guy. I've been doing this ever since I started doing this hardcore draft stuff in 2019. I go back and I watch older prospects because I'm a nerd, and this is what I'll say. In the entire 2000s, I've watched every top wide receiver prospect, at least 10 of them, right? Like over the 21st century. Outside of probably Calvin Johnson, I can't name a single guy better than Marvin Harrison Jr. I just can't. Like, he has the combination of everything: the size, the speed, the route running, the release, the route tree, the contested catching, everything. There are not many weaknesses that you can poke with this guy. Sure, he might not be a DK or a Megatron athlete. Okay, he's a better route runner than both of them. He has more consistent hands than both of them. He might be better after the catch than both of them. This guy makes plays like it's nothing. Like this is what I'll say about Marvin Harrison. He is a NFL player that's playing on Saturdays. As simple as that. He's an NFL player that's playing on Saturdays right now. Like, if he was in the NFL right now playing, I would guarantee you there would not be 20 guys better than him. If he was playing in the NFL right now, there are not 20 wide receivers better than him. There just aren't. Like, that's how good he would be right away. I'm very confident about that. There's not many guys that I've seen with this kind of size, speed, and just special traits that he has. And I love Jamar Chase coming out of 2019, and we all know how good he was at college. Like, he had maybe the best wide receiver season I've ever seen in college. It was unbelievable what he did. I think Marvin Harrison Jr. is significantly better than him coming out. Just simple as that. I think he's just truly special. And then we all know how good Caleb is. Although I do think he gets a little overrated as a prospect when people compare him to, Luck and Trevor. I think that's pushing it a little bit. But, like, he's still a guy you take first overall and don't even think about.
Hey, you heard the man, bro. Hey, you heard him.
Trent, you had some interesting reactions. You got any disagreements with that?
I mean, I disagree.
Lay it on me.
I'll just say I disagree with the yak part with Calvin Johnson, because Calvin was a yak demon. That's really the only. I'll probably say, if you're talking about prospect, that's like, Marvin Harrison.
I think
Jr.
Calvin's better for sure.
Marvin Harrison Jr. is easily probably a top 5. But yes. When he said that, I was thinking like college receivers all the time. So that's why I was thinking it different.
When I looked at the older guys in college, like some of the higher up prospects, we think of like Chase, we think of Amari Cooper, we think of Julio Jones, we think of AJ Green, Andre Johnson, Larry Fitzgerald, Calvin Johnson. I think the only one better than him that I can truly say is Megatron. And then everybody else, I think he has a very solid debate of being better than. I just think he's that special. He's just a guy like my friend told me this earlier. There are some guys in college that are just statue players, guys that you are going to build a statue for someday for an NFL team. And I think he's that kind of guy.
Do you think like that for Caleb Williams? I'm just asking.
If he goes to the Rams, maybe.
Okay.
If he gets with McVay, I think we'll kick him with fire.
Although I like it because why this is the perfect man to come on the college football show. So it's cool. We're gonna tap in more to that. Luz, you got any more questions?
Yeah, just a few more. Just going back to the Cardinals game.
Yep.
If the Cardinals somehow win this game,
Oh my god.
what is the biggest reason why?
You guys shot yourself in the foot.
So you don't think that the Cardinals boost themselves up? You think it's us just being terrible?
It's just like we sacked Sam Howell 6 times.
Right.
We turned the ball over 3 times, including a defensive touchdown. And we just were not the better team. Our offense, I like the direction it's going. I like Drew Petzing as our offensive coordinator. I'm very happy Cliff is gone. This team will not win any. This team will not win a single game until Kyler gets back. Until Kyler gets back, I don't think that. No, I don't think so. And this is the only chance they're going to win a game, because if you look at the next 5 games for the Cardinals after this, I don't think they're going to win a single one. Like, they're going to be at least 8-point underdogs in every single game. They play Dallas, they play the Bengals, they play the Niners. Like, just these are tough games you are not going to win. And I will say this. If Arizona had, let's just say hypothetically, they had Kyler for this game, I think there's a chance they could win.
It's a different game.
Because if they would have had Kyler against Washington,
they would have won.
I said this, they would have won. Not only would they have won, they would have won by maybe 2 scores. Like, what killed the Cardinals in that game was the offense. And then Washington fans will say, well, the D-line was getting pressure. And I'm like, okay, I get that. But Kyler is a guy who can escape that pressure so easily. He's done it a million times. He's always played with bad offensive lines.
Right.
And it makes me frustrated knowing that, man, if I had my quarterback in this game, we'd be 1-0 right now. Like, think about that. The worst team in the league, the laughing stock of the NFL right now, would be 1-0 if they had their quarterback. But no, I think the only way the Giants win this or the Cardinals win this game is if you guys repeat what you did against Dallas, that's the only way we're winning this game. And I don't see that happening. So
I just don't see y'all putting up the pressure that the Cowboys caused. So
that's not happening.
Yeah, right.
That's not happening.
Right.
Yeah, Dennis Gardeck is unfortunately not Micah Parsons, unfortunately.
Hey, maybe he is. We'll see. We'll see on Sunday.
Yeah. I appreciate you for coming on, you know.
Yes, sir.
I said, man, we about to start doing big things, you know, me and Lucas in this podcast, you know. Make sure y'all follow, like, subscribe, follow the TikTok, Big Blue Breakdown. We got a big guest coming on next week to talk ball with us. So, you know, that's it, man. Lucas, you got any closing words?
No, that's it, man. I think you did everything you needed to do.
Yes,
Thank you, Don, for coming on.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on.
Yep. Hey, but peace.